Having a life with a disability, I've had my challenges, but overall I've learned to embrace my difference and use that to go forward and do stuff. When I was born, no one knew that I had a clubfoot. I think it was an hour after I was born that the midwife, I think, noticed, and she was like, oh, there's something wrong with her leg. And so from there I had a few operations. We used to go out into the neighbourhood and ride the bikes, and me and my friend used to always go down to the pools every weekend, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna go do like 10 random laps of the pool just because I could, not because I was into swimming properly or anything. And then my English teacher was like, hey, there's this para cross country event. This was the first time I'd ever heard about anything para. I got first in that cross country, and after that I had to stop cross country because I was getting too many pains in my leg or back or other leg. It was a really hard decision because this was my first taste into para sports, and I was really excited to be a part of this environment, and then I had to make the decision to stop, and it was like, I've only just gotten a taste of this and now I can't be a part of it. A little while after that, my mum called me up on a Saturday morning and she was like, time to jump out of bed, you're gonna come down for a swim. So I went down for a swim and I met this coach from there, Hank Grouping. Yes, he's my coach now. I was the only one with a disability at that time in my squad. So from there, we had another person come along who had a disability, and Hank, he grew the inclusion of the whole team and really advocating for people with disabilities and creating that inclusive environment where he invited people to come. And now it's kind of a part of what Te Arawa stands for. So the first competition I went to, it was a very scary moment. And I cried going into my race, cried going up onto the blocks, swam 2 laps for 100 metres freestyle, and I got disqualified. So I wobbled on the blocks, I moved my feet on the block. I didn't fully know that that was a thing that you weren't supposed to do back then, but it was alright, you know. I learnt from that, and then after that I wasn't nervous anymore because that was the worst that could happen. I do freestyle and backstroke. I do a little bit of butterfly. I don't do breaststroke, but maybe one day we'll get into that. My first nationals was actually only 8 or 9 months after I first started swimming. So there were so many other para athletes there. This was the biggest competition that I'd been to, where there were like Olympians and Sophie Pascoe, Cameron Leslie, Rebecca Dubber, Nikita, Jessie, all these amazing people that we were just surrounded by.
And did that fire you up?
Yeah. The legacy that they've made for themselves really inspired me to want to go out and create an environment for other people where they could get involved with parasports. So from there I found ParaFed, so I'm now the youth ambassador for the ParaFed Bay of Plenty. I guess it just involves being a role model and coming along to these events and supporting the team and the younger kids to get involved with parasports and showing them what's out there. So I've been fortunate to be involved in boccia, wheelchair rugby, wheelchair basketball, so many things. I like wheelchair rugby. It's different from being in the pool. It's a lot more rough and you can go a lot faster in the chair. I've only ever competed in like one tournament. In that first game I got knocked out of my chair and they popped my tyre, but it was really cool.
Are there many para-athletes in the Bay of Plenty?
There are a couple of young kids that are up and coming, but I don't think there are enough. There are so many kids out there that have a disability in the Bay of Plenty that don't know about it. So initially I've never thought of myself as having a disability, and I never accepted that that was a part of who I am until recently in the past few years. And through all the experiences that I've had, I've grown to know that it is a part of who I am, and it's important that I shows other kids that it's okay to be different. Disability is your superpower.